Welcome to the SciFi Pubcast. Come for a drink, but stay for the speculation. Today we're discussing the 2013 British film, The World's End, directed by Edgar Wright and starring, among others, Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. It's a film about a pub crawl and aliens. And we're a science fiction podcast that tries to be a pub, and Derek might be an alien. Get it? So pour yourself a pint, or 12. And thanks for staggering into the show. This is the SciFi Pubcast. Greetings, welcome to the SciFi Pubcast, the pubcast that tries to be a pub, and perhaps someday a pub that tries to be a podcast. Yes, and here we are yet again. Who do we have around? Who's there? Carrie, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Carrie,
I'm here.
How's the state of your world right now?
Warmer than your guys' world at the moment, so that's good.
Yeah, actually, up in Ottawa,
there are several people who are not talking to me right now because it's in the 70s here.
Oh yeah. They had to shut down the Rideau Canal, which is an ice skating place in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, because it's too warm right now and the ice is melting. But I'm sure it's going to be below zero again very shortly. So, and who else? Oh, Derek. Derek, you there, man?
I'm here, but I'm feeling disconnected and I'm phoning it in.
Oh, lovely. Why?
I feel like a real robot today.
Oh, God. I get that too. Yeah.
How is this different? How is this different from other days, Derek?
This time it's more of a physical disconnect than an emotional one.
Right.
Right. Should I ask about the kitchen? No, that's a rhetorical question. How's the kitchen doing, Derek?
It's great. It's cleaner than it's ever been. No organic material anywhere.
So what are you serving then?
In honor of the movie, I don't even know what to call it. I guess we'll just call them blanks. But they're little white robot action figures, and you crack them open, and there's blue Jello shots inside that you have to suck out of like a lobster.
Right. Okay. And guess what?
Wait.
What?
Joel, you're the bartender. Shouldn't you be in charge of the Jello shots?
I would think so, but I'm not sure if it contains alcohol or some other type of intoxicant.
Oh, good point. Never mind.
And by the way, the plastic is not edible. Don't let anybody swallow it.
Right. Yeah, we'll put the caveat on our menus, right? Okay, and moving on.
Menus?
Yes. We also have another staff member, which I'm considering to be staff nowadays. Randall Graham. Hi, Randall.
Hey, everybody.
What possessed you to come back on our show so many times? Like, what are you thinking, Randall?
Honestly, I'm having so much fun when I get on this show. It's I really look forward to these recording sessions. You guys are a blast, and it's become my favorite pub.
Cool. Aww, that's great.
That's sweet.
Now, I have to, because this is the way we do things here at the SciFi Pubcast, I have to assign a specific staff role to you, Randall. Did I do this before? I know we had one episode that didn't work out because of tech issues, but we can have scholar in residence, or you can be our PR person.
I'll take whatever role is needed at the time.
Okay. How about writer in residence? How's that?
I'll do that. That sounds good.
Excellent. So what your responsibilities are is to attend the pub, live the life of a writer, drink a lot, and have good conversations.
I will do my best.
Excellent. There you go. And now, as for me, let's see. I'm not feeling 100%. I got sick last night, which is unusual. I think I ate some of Derek's food or something from the kitchen because.
What have I told you about doing that, Joel?
I know.
Wait, it wasn't the one in the plastic container with the yellow and black sign on it, was it?
Maybe. I can't recall, but something like that. But, I was tripping out on I had a fever and I was tripping out on dreams. It was just nuts. But maybe it's just because I watched this movie that's we're going to talk about shortly. But before we get there, Randall, you let me in on a little secret. Your vacation plans for next year.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about that.
You're not going to outer space. You're not going to go to the International Space Station. what are you doing exactly?
Well, I am now the proud owner of tickets to go on the Star Trek cruise.
Ooh.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. It's going to be a blast.
Where does it sail to?
It sails leaves from Miami, sails around Grand Cayman, Jamaica, that little private island, and I think there are like 4 different ports of call. But the main attraction, of course, is having the Star Trek cast on the boat with you, which is going to be hilarious.
Who's going to be there?
Wesley Crusher is present. Will Wheaton is going to be there. Michael Dorn, Nana Visitor. I think Renee Auberjonois is going to be there. A huge number. I'm just going to call up the list. A ton of people are going to be there. And I think Armin Shimmerman's going to be there.
And which one of them is sharing a room with you?
Well, if they play their cards right, it could vary over the course of the tour. So Jonathan Frakes, Marina Sirtis, Brent Spiner, Gates McFadden, John Delancey, Michael Dorn, Robert Picardo, already said Nana Visitor. They're just scrolling through the names here now.
All the non-successful ones.
Connor,
Hey!
Connor Trenier, Denise Crosby, Ethan Phillips. Oh, Neelix. Chase Masterson. That's Lita from DS9. Casey Biggs. That's Damar. One
Anyone
person
from Discovery?
Yeah, Mary Chifo and Wilson Cruz.
Who do they play?
Now there you have me. I am not up. Yeah, well, I'm not up on Discovery. I have them all recorded, but haven't watched beyond the first couple so far. So
you need to catch up. It's gotten so good.
Yeah, I've accidentally
it's
heard spoilers. I've heard a few spoilers. I know that they go into the mirror universe.
Yeah, it's weird because a lot of the things I've seen coming, I'm just like, oh, they really are going to do that. Okay, great, this is fun.
So yeah, I'll have to catch up on all of that before I go on the cruise, so that I know what I'm talking about. It's going to be a pretty big blast, I think. They do a lot of trivia competitions. And one of the highlights from this year's cruise, apparently, was Jonathan Frakes judged a Riker maneuver competition, where people had to, mounting a chair from behind. And so, yeah, everyone did that, and Jonathan Frakes himself judged it. I think that's pretty cool. Gates McFadden taught dance lessons. So they do all kinds of crazy stuff, and it sounds like it'll be a good time. And they're still selling tickets, so if other members of the Pubcast want to go, we could record live from the Norwegian Jade. That's the name of the ship.
Yes, we just need some rich sponsors. Okay.
Yes. What Joel said.
Yeah.
Sadly, all my vacation days for the year are booked.
Yeah, it's okay because it's happening in January 2019, not 18. And the funny part about the whole thing about this, I was away on business last week on the prairies, the Great Canadian Prairies. I won't get any more specific than that. But one of the persons I actually had drinks with, who followed me around because of the nature of my business, is a guy named Dale. I won't say his last name, but he's a musician type. Is his night job in the Ottawa area, and he's a huge Star Trek fan. And he's done the Star Trek cruises, like more than one. And so I've heard all the stories even before Randall told me he was going on the cruise. It's great. Basically, it's like a Star Wars celebration, but on a cruise ship with probably just as much drinking involved. So
yeah, I'm given to understand that some of the castmates just don't care about their reputation anymore and just get hammered with the people on the boat and act pretty crazily.
Yeah. Oh man.
Hey, cool.
Okay.
So it should be a good time.
Excellent. And we expect field reports, Randall, if we can't go in person. So
you shall have them.
Excellent.
Yay.
But today we're not talking about Star Trek, unfortunately, which we will do eventually because we've had some requests to talk about Star Trek. We're talking about the 2013 British film, The World's End, a story of 5 childhood friends doing a pub crawl, and aliens become involved, and they're blue on the inside. I wrote that myself, by the way. Without stealing anything. So it's part of what's known as it's the third and final film in the 3-flavor Cornetto trilogy, which is all directed by Edgar Wright and written by Edgar Wright and Simon Pegg, otherwise known as Scotty from Star Trek, and the guy from Paul, and a bunch of other things and roles. Now I should note because
also he's also the voice of Dengar.
Oh, that's right, Dengar.
In
Clone Wars.
Clone Wars.
Right.
Yes.
Well, didn't he play, what's his name, Plutarch? What's the Force Awakens? The guy
Yes.
Uncard
Yes.
Plot.
Yes, thank you
Yeah.
very much. Yeah, me and alien names. That's going to go well. Great. No, it's funny because, Carrie, you're the one who suggested we do this film, right?
Well, yeah, because hadn't you suggested us doing a different one, and I hadn't even heard of it.
Yeah, Paul, because it's more UFO related, and I find that that's
I haven't seen that one yet. I've seen the other three.
Right. Now it's funny because you
But
mentioned.
I also thought it was appropriate considering that they're doing a pub crawl when we are in a pub.
That's very, very true, and that's why I agree with it. We need more pubs. We need to talk about more pubs and about drinking.
Agreed.
But I must admit, I just want our listeners, our customers, not to be confused. This is not the 2013 Seth Rogen American comedy. This is the end. It's the world's end. So both
Which I also just saw recently, and yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, so this is not about the rapture. It's about blue aliens known as blanks or the network, basically trying to make humanity better in a very controlling way. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so for this one, you'd better start drinking now rather than waiting a bit. What's your overall impressions on The World's End as a film?
I liked it. I knew a couple of the spoilers before I saw it. I wasn't expecting the very end of the film. That was a bit of a weird right turn for me. But yeah, otherwise it was good.
Yeah.
I loved it. I had no idea what the movie was about. The only reason I knew there was going to be a sci-fi aspect to it was because you guys said we were doing a show on it, and we're a SciFi Pubcast. So I watched it today for the first time, and I was blown away because I didn't expect anything that happened in that movie to happen. The only other movie that has snuck up on me like that was Life is Beautiful, the Roberto Benigni movie about the Holocaust.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Where you're in this lovely romance story, and then suddenly, hard right turn, you're in a Holocaust concentration camp movie. And I thought it was brilliantly done in both instances. But I really enjoyed World's End, largely because it was such a surprise. And it defied expectations. Like, to have a movie that's basically a British pub crawl movie suddenly have the best fight choreography I've ever seen in any movie ever. It was just incredible. Okay. I really enjoyed that. I love the detail that went into the fight choreography.
Okay. I should interject here and say, we're talking spoilers. So if you haven't seen the movie, it's on Netflix. Go see it. Hit stop, come back, listen to the rest of the podcast later, because it's worth just watching the film with fresh eyes, without any preconceived notions.
Yeah, it was crazy good.
Yeah, Derek, what was your overall impression?
I liked it a lot. I'm a huge Edgar Wright fan. I've been a fan of his since the Spaced series back in 2000/2001. That was also starring Edgar Wright and Simon Pegg, and it was directed by Edgar Wright. If you haven't seen it and you have the ability to, it's a really great TV show. It's really funny. It has amazing visual bits and action sequences in it, just like these movies. It's basically a TV version of this movie trilogy. Oh, I mean, it doesn't have actual action. It has made up action. I think there was one episode where they had a massive choreographed gunfight, but it was with people pretending to shoot with their fingers. It was silly things like that. But it's actually a really good show. It was very funny. It was very heartfelt. And then he did Shaun of the Dead in 2004, which is one of those treasured geek movies. It's not my favorite movie of all time. I mean, I think it's good, but I don't love it quite as much as most other people do. And then in 2007, he did Hot Fuzz, which I do love a lot. That's my favorite Edgar Wright project. That has so many classic bits and gags in it. Timothy Dalton is a great villain in it, and that actually has real gunfights and stuff in it that are really incredible. It's a lot like this movie in that it starts out normal, and then all of a sudden there's a twist, and suddenly it's this massive action movie. That's definitely my favorite. I would say World's End is my second favorite. It's very good. It's very solid. I don't really have any complaints about it. It's just not quite as good as Hot Fuzz. I do find the first half of it to drag a little bit more than the other movies, but it's very solid. It's very good. The villains are great. The action is great. The characters are entertaining. And it's interesting because it's an inverse of their normal dynamic, because in the first two movies, Simon Pegg is the responsible, uptight one, and Nick Frost is the slob, the lazy one. And here it's a complete inverse of that. So that was an interesting way to end their trilogy.
Yeah, I'm hearing what you're saying. And just to let's put the actors on the table, so to speak. Now, we have Simon Pegg, we have, of course, Nick Frost. But there's other actors involved as well. Yeah, there's Petty, and I'm going to butcher the guy's last name, of course, Considine. There's Martin Freeman, Annie Marson, and the actress Rosamund Pike, who I know as a James Bond girl when she made it big back in the day.
Yeah, those are all classic British actors that I've seen in so many things. So it was really cool to see them all together here.
Yeah.
When we had a James Bond present too, Pierce Brosnan as Guy Shepherd.
Yeah.
Yes,
awesome.
true.
Yeah, and plus it's British, so of course it's going to have James Bond references. So,
Of course.
My overall take on this is that it's subtle. The movie's kind of subtle, so I can see what Derek is saying. The pacing is kind of slow. It's not your typical Hollywood movie. But even some of the lines, if you actually listen to the lines and if you actually get the jokes, and because a lot of it's very British-centric, it's quite funny. Like, talking about the first pub where you have the main character played by Simon Pegg, Gary King, who's this, lack of a better word, loser, who's in his 40s, who still behaves like he's in high school. God, I want that life. But he says, he says this line, to the bitter's end, or at least to the lager's end. The difference between bitter beer and lager beer, that's quite funny. So it's all these subtleties that's just hilariously funny. If you know what
it was incredibly well written.
Yeah.
I didn't trust the movie at first. I thought that they were leading me down a path to it all be some sort of, again, spoiler alert, some sort of elaborate hoax, or it was being made up by an unreliable narrator. Just because when you meet all the characters at first, their last names are King, Knightley, Prince, Chamberlain, Page, all members of a royal court. And I thought, okay, this is not a true story. They're telling something that's going to be some sort of elaborate ruse at the end. But no, they just went with those names.
Yeah, and it's so funny. This one scene when Sam Chamberlain, so the love interest, so to speak, right? She walks in the third pub in the pub crawl, right? And everyone stands up except for Gary King, because the king doesn't stand up for a Chamberlain. It's just
very cool.
Also because Gary King is an asshole.
Yeah, that too.
Well, there is that.
I'm sorry, but not sorry. I mean, he's like, I really hated that character, and this is before I knew about the attempted suicide and stuff at the end. Right. But he reminded me so much of all the people in my high school who were the big fish who were just the big fish in the little pond, and suddenly they got into college and they're the little fish in a really big pond and they really couldn't handle it.
Right.
So he wasn't the most endearing of characters.
So Carrie, you're saying if someone tries to commit suicide, then you won't like them?
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that he basically, is living. He's basically living in the past, and he's hung everything on this one thing that he never managed to accomplish. And dude, what the fuck?
Time to grow up.
Time.
Okay. I actually
and full disclosure, I am mentally 5. I get the whole not wanting to grow up thing, but you can be an adult and still and be responsible and stuff, and still have fun. That's not the two are not mutually exclusive.
Yeah.
Well, that for me is an interesting aspect of this movie. Like earlier when Derek was talking about what he did and didn't like about it, he talked about who the bad guys were in this movie. But the interesting thing for me is, who are the bad guys? Like, is Gary King actually the villain who ruins everything for everybody, or is the network the bad guy? Like, which side is the side of right and which is the side of wrong?
Yeah, he's a freedom fighter.
Yeah, I mean, that is the interesting thing. If we're going to jump to the ending of the movie here, that is the interesting thing about it, because the network, well, I mean, I guess they were they actually killing people? Like, if the people didn't agree to join them, were they actually killed? I wasn't clear on that.
Yeah, but
or were they just like put in the Matrix?
No, they killed them, but they preserved their DNA.
Okay.
No, they basically they killed them, and then they recycled the organic material back into the earth to fertilize the earth. So,
recycling.
They were all recycled.
But
very
I mean, big picture,
in a very creepy way.
I mean, big picture, the network wasn't really that evil. They were trying to prepare Earth to join the galactic community of, peace and harmony and to end all wars. So them, quote unquote, saving the Earth was actually also dooming the Earth as well. Yeah,
well, this essential theme of this movie is conformity versus safety and liberty, right? What do you want? You want conformity and safety, or you want to have your freedom to be an asshole like Gary King? And by the way, I went to high school with people like Gary King.
So did I.
I just, the people who hang out in the smoking pit. I'm not sure if they have smoking pits anymore in high school. I'm dating myself, obviously, but it's like Sisters of Mercy. That T-shirt he was wearing, I was into Sisters of Mercy. It's a classic, music troupe. I remember when I was in my late teens and early 20s, I spent a lot of time in like gothic alternative type music clubs, and who can forget that? It's Sisters of Mercy was just so gothic, and it's just so rhythm, has such rhythm to it, and it's just you can as soon as you hear the sound, it's late 80s. You just know it because it's such typical for that era. Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah, I couldn't relate to certain aspects of the movie because, like, I know you guys are saying you knew people like that in high school. I wasn't a drinker growing up as a young man. I didn't try alcohol until I was in my late 20s. But so I can't relate to the whole, lifestyle that they're trying to depict in their whole pub crawl adventure. But I can relate very strongly to going back to your hometown and finding it, the same as it was, but weirdly different, and feeling out of place. While surrounded by things that are seemingly familiar, that really resonated with me in the movie. So not so much the personalities of the people, but that strange feeling of otherness that you have when you go back to a setting that ought to be familiar, but has changed in subtle ways that make you feel like you're a fish out of water.
Or that has not changed in any way, but you've grown beyond it. Because I go home once in a while. And, home is 10 minutes away. But still, I've been out of Burbank long enough that I come back and I'm just like, well, this is all weird and stuff.
Yeah, it's like when you go back to your elementary school as an adult and everybody's looking at you weirdly and asking what you're doing here. It wasn't like that when you were a kid.
Well, if you're hanging out in your elementary school and as an adult, that is kind of weird.
That was Derek's first arrest.
I wasn't going to say it.
Oh, God.
I'm a teetotaler too, Randall. I didn't have my first drink until I was past 21, maybe 22.
I'm not a teetotaler, but I just didn't go to clubs or anything. I was never in the popular crowd or even the unpopular crowd.
And now we all live in a pub.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
I've been a functional alcoholic since I was like 16. So.
Congratulations.
I'm trying to drink less. Okay.
What's the drinking age in Canada?
Well, outside of two provinces, it's 19 years old. In the province of Alberta and the province of Quebec, it's 18 years old.
Yeah. Germany, it's 16. So.
Yeah. I think most continental countries in Europe is 16.
Mm.
Speaking of beer, did you catch what beers they actually poured in the movie?
I know there was Foster's and the other ones I wasn't familiar with unless they're fictional, in which case that would explain why I'm not familiar with them.
No, there's two which they actually in the movie see being poured through the tap. There's Foster's and there's Kronenbourg 1664, which is ironic because Foster's, of course, is an Australian beer, which is all over North America and it's all over Europe. But of course, if you go to Australia, and I lived in Australia for 6 months as an undergrad on exchange. No one drinks Foster's. That's the stuff you export to the Americans. It's piss in the eyes of Australia. you drink VB instead, or a number of other local beers, but not Foster's.
Well, okay. So okay, I think I actually may have had Cronenberg once or twice when I was in Germany. So I may be more familiar with it than I think. But the alcohol content, as far as I remember, in Foster's is higher than a lot of the German beers. So when Foster's got introduced into Germany, that was kind of a big deal. Like suddenly the big brawny Germans couldn't drink the Australians under the table.
Which is,
I think in two scenes in the movie, they also mentioned that they're pouring Crowning Glory.
right.
Yes.
Has anyone tried that?
No, I haven't, which is interesting.
That'll be your
No,
next
I've never
project.
heard of that one. I know I've never heard of that one.
Okay, so
I just looked it up to see if it was real, and it is.
Okay, so
good.
for homework, okay, staff and customers, go out and actually try this Crown and Glory. Is that the name of it?
Crowning Glory.
Yes, and report back and send us a review of that fine beverage.
I will do my best if I can find it here.
Okay, now,
But I hate all beers.
yeah, okay. Well, Derek, you can get your mom to write you a note so you can be excused. Okay. Two things I want to get out before I'm talked over is one. Cronenberg is actually a French beer, not a German beer. It's in
right.
It's in the part between Germany and France that's been fought over centuries. Currently, it's located in France. And Foster's, it goes back to the Edgar Wright thing, where one of the reasons why they did this movie, and they show that every pub is the same old pub, and actually they use the same pub for all 12 pubs on the pub crawl, at least the interior shots. Not the exterior, but in the interior. So it's all plain, boring, a pub out of the box. It's just like like a Starbucks on every single street corner, right? It's just bleh. So by using Foster's, it's making a point. It's like the American version would be like Budweiser. In Canada, it's like Labatt's Blue or Molson Canadian. It's just a plain old mediocrity crap that's mass marketed. But it's
Right.
But it's pleasant crap. It's comfortable crap. It's just not very interesting crap. Oh, the other thing too. Do you notice in the pub scenes, each pub they had the boards with the writing on it, what the different beers and different specials. It's all the same permanent.
All the same.
Yeah, just
It's like it's like the pubs have become a chain.
Yeah, and there's nothing worse than pub chains. You get with chains, you know what to expect, but it's not going to be an interesting experience. It's not going to be a unique experience. You know the beer is going to be served cold, and that the pub food's going to be okay, and that's about it. But what really makes a pub is the clientele, the unique clientele. And make no mistake, the SciFi Pubcast is not based off any of the pubs in this movie.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Not even the famous cock?
Well, yeah, that's maybe. Okay. This is also neat. Let's go over the names of the different 12 pubs because each name foreshadows what happens in that scene. And I think that's just brilliant. You guys ready for this?
Sure.
Yeah.
The first pub is, of course, the First Post, followed by the Old Familiar, followed by the famous Cock. Then it's the Cross Hens, the Good Companions, the Trusty Servant, the Two-Headed Dog, the Mermaid, which is kind of the joke with the marmalade sandwich, the Beehive, the King's Head, the Hole in the Wall, and, of course, the Wolves' End. There's also the disco club they visited, which I don't think there's a name for it. And then in the epilogue...
Actually, I thought the disco club was one of the pubs on the list.
Oh,
I thought it was the Mermaid because that's where the sirens happen.
Okay, maybe it is. Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
So I was distracted by the mermaid. So
Of course you are.
Yeah, of course. There's a sign in the epilogue. Did you catch what that pub is at the very end?
The Red Rising Sun.
That's right. For a hope that humanity will build itself up again after the fall of civilization.
Well, pubs are the first sign of civilization.
That was the right turn I was referring to. Just like I wasn't expecting this to be, the end of humanity, the end of civilization as we know it type thing. Although, if this being that it's related to Shaun of the Dead, that shouldn't have been a surprise.
Yeah, it's very much a criticism on networking and what we pay in order to live in contemporary society with technology. Mm-hmm. You know, it's the idea of, you know, what's a robot and what's the definition of a slave. That was kind of on the nose, but that's the essential theme of this film.
Yeah.
Personally, I revel in the freedom from choice and the agony of decision.
Excellent, Derek. But before you go on, can you prove that you're human to us?
What do you want me to do? Pop my head off or something?
Yeah, no. Just because I'm concerned about our own personal safety, and you being Derek, of course. So, is there any way you can prove that you're human? You have a scar that you remember back in the day, or you know, did you leave some graffiti around that you recall?
Well, I don't have any tattoos. That's probably a bad sign, right?
Oh, good. Yeah, as they said in the movie, the great Gary King, who's trapped in high school, is what the fuck does WTF mean?
I enjoyed that line.
I
also love the discussion when they were trying to come up with the name for the robots that weren't robots.
Absolutely. What were some of the names?
No-bots, Pobots, blanks. Yeah. There's something like Squashy Eggman or something like that. I vaguely remember that. Yeah, they went through a long list of them.
Yeah, like fembutts. What about some of the other gags, like the Beast as the car? Do you know what type of car that Gary King drove?
I'm not a car person. Sorry.
Yeah.
Me neither.
I only know because it's in the show notes.
Yeah, it's a British Ford Granada. It's a brand that no one knows about because it's such a shitty car. Oh,
it's not like the British answer to the Ford Pinto.
Yeah, but people actually bought the Ford Pinto.
Oh, good point.
Yeah, and the other thing is that this is a neat one. What about the town of the town's name, Newton Haven? You know, in real life, that town was the first place in the UK that had the first runabout. So you go in circles and circles and circles. That's kind of telling for the story point of view.
Yeah, and they show you the sign for that in the movie as well.
Yeah.
Oh, the roundabout.
Yeah.
I thought you said runabout.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah,
I don't always understand your speech patterns, Joel.
Yeah, I understand. I don't understand what I'm saying. So.
Well, sometimes Joel and I fall back into speaking Canadian.
Yes. So the town name is Newton Haven. To me, it sounds like it's a play off words. Newton Haven, Newton Haven. It's a bit of a stretch, but I find that.
Well, I thought when I first heard it, and I thought about the Isaac Newton connection. I thought, this is a sci-fi thing. We're going to be talking about science and physics in some way. That turned out to not be where we were going with it. But the whole idea of going back to their old hometown, and it's called essentially Newtown. I thought that was interesting. They go back and everybody is, turned into robots or no-bots or blanks, whatever you want to call them.
And they had to go to the pub for their haven.
Yeah. Yeah, it was interesting. I've read a little bit while I was watching the movie. I would click out and go read little articles about it and whatnot just to see the significance of different scenes. It's interesting the extent to which Simon Pegg doesn't want to talk about any subtle meanings in the movie. He wants people to discover that for themselves and doesn't want to comment on it. Whereas Edgar Wright seems much more willing to say, "Oh no, these are the themes I was trying to pick up on. These are the meanings I was trying to convey."
So I'm just looking online. Edgar Wright, the director, has his own blog. It's well worth visiting his blog because he posts some really neat stuff there. Like he has a blog posting with all the 12 signs of the pubs, and so you can see the sign, a clean version of the sign. And I'm just looking at the mermaid, and it's just so funny. The mermaid is like the marmalade sandwich, which is a joke within the movie. So watch the movie, I suppose.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
I just noticed the King's Head sign. That is very clearly Simon Pegg's face.
Yes, it is. Because he's a king.
That's really funny. I didn't notice that in the movie.
Oh, man. Yeah, you gotta like British humor or you're not gonna like this movie at all. The hole in the wall. Yeah, of course there's gonna be a hole in the wall.
I think
didn't they make a hole in the wall to get out of that?
Yeah, they drove a car into the wall. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if you could really consider this fully British humor, though, because there's no cross-dressing in it or jokes about the Queen.
Perhaps.
There's not even a single dead parrot either.
Oh, God.
Were there any dead parrots in the other two movies?
I don't know. A lot of things die. Maybe. I have to check.
Not all British films involves Monty Python. Just saying, Derek.
But they should.
Yes.
And of course,
agreed.
Yes. That's a good name for a band. Doesn't involve Monty Python. No.
Little wordy.
Yeah.
Oh, what do you make of this whole bullying aspect of the one character finally getting his revenge by punching the guy's lights out, so to speak?
Hey, you know what? If you've repressed it for that long, it's gonna come out eventually, especially if the guy's especially the guy you focused on clearly hasn't changed in, 20 years.
Yeah. Look at the main characters and, look at their occupations. Gary King, unemployed. What else? Annie Knightley, Stephen Prince, Olivia Ullman-Chamberlain, Peter Page, Sam Chamberlain. Now, there's a car salesperson for, I think, Audis. There's a real estate person. There's an architect. And there's a corporate lawyer. So all these plain, not very interesting occupations, very middle class, upper middle class, very safe, not very adventurous.
Right, exactly.
Wait, I was a corporate lawyer, and every minute was an adventure.
Yes, and that's why you left the practice.
That's true. Yeah, I didn't take.
Yeah. It's kind of like, it's going back to the whole pub analogy. But what's a pub? A pub is just not a bar with a series of taps. A decent pub is a center of the community. It's a place to engage in conversation and exchange news of the day. It's a place to, comment about what's happening that day and about the local sports team and, so-and-so's grandmother and who's dating who. And it's all about that. And,
right.
And you look at the typical British style pub, there's a lot going on there because usually pubs are in old buildings, they've been around forever, and there's a lot of history. As opposed to what we have in North America, especially in Canada, we have these strip malls where we have a pub tucked in the back of the strip mall, and it's not the same.
Or just a random dive bar somewhere.
Yeah. Well, there's bars and there's pubs, and there's subtleties, right? A pub is a bar, but a pub is more than that. It's a public house, which means that you can go in there and you can get any beer you want, not just from one brewer, but from different suppliers.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
That's not where the word pub comes from, is it?
I believe it is.
Public?
Public house?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah. It's not like it's a gentleman's club. Let me put it this way. A gentleman's club meant something different in the 18th and 19th century than it does say now in contemporary society. So, okay. Any other comments about this movie, The World's End?
Well, now I want to know what they called the gentleman's club back then.
Oh, dear.
Yes, it's called a brothel. Okay.
A house of ill repute.
Oh, dear Lord. Well, let's wrap up this episode and go from there.
Sounds good.
Great. Just for our closing, you can find our SciFi Pubcast Twitter address is at SciFi Pubcast. We're a proud partner of When Nerds Attack Podcasting Network, and their Twitter address is at Nerds Attack Pods. You can like us on Facebook. Hell, you can like the network page, When Nerds Attack, on Facebook as well. We're here to please. Please leave us an iTunes review. We send stickers. Yes, we send stickers. You can also get in touch with us either through Twitter, Facebook, or just send us an old-fashioned email. Be part of the network. Small n. Our email address is management@SciFi Pubcast. My personal Twitter address is my first name, Joel_Welch. Carrie, what's yours? Your Twitter address?
My Twitter handle is Carrie Blackfire42. That's Keri Blackfire42.
And Derek?
At Derek J. Beebe.
And Reynolds.
At Randall_Graham.
And that's it for this episode on The World's End. We recommend you go out in the field and do your own pub crawl and get the experience on your belt, so to speak. We believe in the practical application of knowledge.
And if you
But make sure you get an Uber.
Yeah, and just for the record, 12 pints of beer. Yeah, I've done that before.
And if you've seen The World's End but you haven't seen Hot Fuzz, be sure to check out Hot Fuzz. It's really good.
Yes.
And Shaun of
I
the
will do
Dead.
that.
Okay. Before we close, one last thing. If you want to support the network, which indirectly supports us, they do have a Patreon account. I know things are changing behind the scenes, but it's out there. Again, please try to visit us and support the account if you can, Patreon account. And that's it. I know every podcast, shrills for their own social networking, but it's podcasting. Podcasting, yes, it's supposed to be fun. It does cost some money though. It's closing time. Make it home safe. We'll see you next time. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Music provided courtesy of Logan Rathbone. Podcast logo by Drew. Copyrighted Joe Welch. Listen responsibly, and we can't wait for your next visit to our fine establishment. Cheers.